Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. We're gonna be talking something that is my favorite topic. That's this bad boy right here. Little silver bar for you. How do you like that action? Sorry, the camera's going in and out. We're gonna be talking about silver because I'm very excited, to be honest with you. I have been in this industry for, since 2010, and I have been investing in stocks and I have been investing in silver. The reason why I invest in stocks is because it's so much more leveraged compared to the actual underlying metal itself. But right now, to say that we are in a crisis that no one has ever seen worldwide about commodities, when it comes to commodities because of geopolitical threats, it's an understatement, right? So we need to be prepared for what's coming. So without further ado, let's dive right in. I've been talking about silver mining companies, gold mining companies, and the reason why you want to start learning about them now, right? Not diving right in, but starting to learn about them, learning how they work. What's the difference between an exploration play as opposed to a junior miner, as opposed to a major miner? We've all seen how lately gold and silver prices have come off of their recent highs because of a massive stock market sell-off. And I talked to you guys about that a while back. And I want to really hammer this point across that I believe that we're still able to see some weakness in the markets. Why? Because we are facing tragedy when it comes to global equity markets. And so those tend to bring down the paper price of gold and silver, right? But at the same time, I want people prepared to start looking at where they want to position their money for the most amount of leverage as this crash completely takes full effect. So I've been buying little bits, nibbling on stocks here and there, getting ready, learning about the management teams and things like that. And we do have a sponsor today, and the sponsor of today's video is actually a pure silver play, and that company is Silver Mountain. The US ticker on the OTC board is AGMRF. And if you want to take a look at it, that'd be great. We're going to get into that in a second. Some great things that I like about this play. But I want to talk again about the fundamentals of the market, okay? So a lot of people invest, they just go crazy. When they see something they believe in, they hear some sound fundamentals, they dive right in. And I always caution people not to do that. I think it's very important to take small steps, increase your knowledge about whatever asset you're investing in, but then take small steps to start to learn about this process. And I like that valuation, that old approach to investing of dollar cost averaging, going in slow, because it always seems like when you're super excited about something, you dive in and it isn't exactly where you want it in the price like the next week or the week after, right? Well, now we've seen that. I've bought stocks in the mining sector and the commodity sector in the last couple of months that are down in price. Why? Not because the company did anything different or wrong. It's because the underlying asset, the actual metal itself, right, on the spot exchange markets has fallen, right? And a lot of people ask themselves, they're like, how can this be, Ninja? Well, I want to explain something it's actually quite exciting. About a year ago, I did a video and I put up a chart of 2008 stock markets, and I correlated them directly with the silver and gold spot markets, the paper trading price of gold and silver in the year 2008, before Lehman Brothers collapsed. And what you see is as the stock market started to trend down lower and lower in the winter and spring months of 2008, precious metals started to sell off a little bit as well. Why? Because the paper markets are a lot of people, hedge funds, big institutional investors, they hold those commodities as insurance, right? Well, what happens is they start getting margin calls, the stocks start to sell off, they actually start to sell some of their insurance. And that just creates a bigger cycle and it keeps getting worse and worse. And in 2008, we saw gold and silver bottom about 1 month after the Lehman Brothers doors closed and we officially entered the Great Recession, right? Well, what's exciting is when they bottomed in October, November, the stock market kept going down and down and down month after month after month until it made its bottom in almost the middle of 2009, right? Well, it was too late for anybody that was trying to move into precious metals because, not too late, but they didn't catch the bottom because the bottom was in October, November of the year prior. And then they started on a multi-year tirade. And the reason why that bull market happened was because our government started printing money and the Federal Reserve was printing money and they were doing quantitative easing. And so the fears of inflation were there. Well, now what's crazier about today is today we have a bigger inflation issue than what happened in mid-2006 to 2008. And we also have governments around the world having the exact same problems, right? So at the first sign of a big market turndown, countries all over the world and investors are waiting for the Fed to pivot. I don't think they're going to do it as soon as you think, but I do know that there will be a point where the printing presses fire up. And that is when gold and silver are going to be exploding. And that is not going to be the time where you want to do your research on what companies you want to be invested in. Now, people have asked me, what do I like more, silver or gold? I think silver is way more appealing to me because it has so many more use cases in gold and it has been suppressed so much stronger, okay? Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an investor and I like to share how I see things, and I like to take from other investors that are successful of how they see things and then put those ideas together. That's how we become successful, right? All right, so let's dive into Silver Mountain. So there are very few silver only plays out in the world, right? Okay. Usually silver is a byproduct of other metals that companies are mining, like gold, copper, zinc, things like that. And so silver comes as a pure, just a derivative. It's a derivative of what else they're mining. It's something extra. Oh, cool. We found some silver. We'll sell it. So there's very few plays in the world when you're talking about the mining industry or the exploration industry where it's just primarily silver. Now, this is one of them. So Silver Mountain, to give you an idea, they're a silver exploration and mining development company, and they're located in Peru. I've told you about what I think about Eric Sprott. He's a self-made billionaire and he has been in the industry for so long and he has so much knowledge, to say the least. I like to follow the plays that he is invested in, and Eric knows the silver market, right? So he owns about 3.4% of Silver Mountain. So I like that. I like to follow the companies that the big boys, the successful men and women in the industry have invested in, okay? Because I know they're doing their due diligence. They're probably doing a lot more than me, so that gives me some reassurance there, right? That doesn't always mean it's gonna go up, but this is actually one of those situations where when Eric Sprott and the next couple of investors I told you about invested, the price of the company is actually less. The price per share is less than what Eric Sprott bought. Why? Because when he bought, silver was at a higher price, which means all the mining equities were at a higher price. And now you're able to look at a company like this at a lower valuation, a cheaper price than even Eric Sprott bought it at, okay? So that's the kind of stuff. These are the opportunities that we're looking for, okay? And I believe there's even gonna be more of these opportunities in the near future. So Franklin Templeton, massive, massive fund, owns 5.4% of Silver Mountain. I like that. It's very rare to see a company like this get deeply invested with a junior silver company, all right? And that's at this early of a stage. So Franklin Templeton, another massive name in the investing world, owns 5.4%. This obviously shows trust in the management team. I like that. Again, they do their own due diligence, right? They're separate from Eric Sprott. They own 10 million shares. Merck, also, MERK, don't get that confused with the pharmaceutical company, owns 5.4% as well. Again, another fund that is massive and does their own due diligence. All right, so let's talk about the gentleman that started this company, Jose, and hopefully I don't butcher this name, Vizquera. Vizquera? Hopefully I got that name. Put it in the comments, see how I did. He founded this silver company. It's a silver-focused company, again, Silver Mountain. His family knows a lot about the silver industry. Why? Because Jose's grandfather actually founded a company, a massive mining company that had a $1.5 billion valuation. And that valuation was actually in 2011 when Jose decided to leave his grandfather's company and go out on his own, okay? So we're talking about a family that is deeply invested in mining natural resources, understands the business, and it's been handed down from generation to generation. So I like that, right? It's not just this is his first company. So to give you an idea of where I think about where these companies, their management team is very important, their board of directors is very important. And so to give you a little snapshot of who the company is, who is AGMR or Silver Mountain. There's a few bullet points I want to focus on. They're fully funded developing company. They have approximately $20 million in cash in the bank right now. That's very, very important because when it comes to exploration companies, you're always wondering, okay, how much money do they have for how many rounds of drilling and exploration that they want to do? Because at a certain point, they're going to need more money, right? Which dilutes the stock. This company is different. As of right now, the valuation on the company sits around $30 million. And that means that with the current valuation and having $20 million in the bank, they have a good good amount of cash to go through before they have to raise again. And the thing is that with the price of silver getting lower and lower and world markets going lower and lower as we get closer and closer, I wish I knew the date of that point where precious metals hit their bottom and start to take off. The great thing is about a company that has that much money in the bank, we know that they have money to fund multiple drilling projects into the future, right? But here's the other thing. They're also debt-free. That's another thing that I look for. How much debt's on the books? It's one thing to say you got $20 million or $30 million in the bank, but hey, we got $10 million in debt. We're like, well, no, then that means just knock $10 million off of whatever's in the bank. Because in my mind, you've got to pay those bills, right? This company's debt-free. That's really exciting. Another thing is that they've got a proven track record with not only their management team, but their board of directors. Everyone in their management team and board of directors have come from other successful exploration or junior plays. So they have a lot of experience. It gets me really nervous when you see someone on the board of directors or in the management team that has no prior experience in the mining industry, but yet they got hired because they did this or that for another type of company. Commodities are one thing. The mining industry is a whole nother deal, and that's something that I want to point it out too. So I want to thank today's sponsor, Silver Mountain. If you guys want to take a look at it, I'm going to have some information down below. But I want to make people understand one very serious thing, and this is what I want to leave you with. This, to me, is literally, and don't take my word for it, Robert Kiyosaki says it, many other investors say it, is, in their opinion and mine, the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. And why? Because it's been suppressed for so long, but it is literally the one item that you cannot have a cell phone with, you can't have solar panels with, you can't have certain water filters with, you can't have any electronics on Earth without this. There's no other element on Earth that has more patents tied to it. There's no other element on Earth that you cannot be substituted like silver when it comes to electronics and technology. I think this is absolutely a slam dunk, but the problem is none of us know when it's going to take off. None of us know when the bottom's gonna come in. But I'll tell you what, every time it's gotten to that $50 level, the powers that be get super stressed out, and that's a good sign for me. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.